lovelies, welcome back to Blue House Yoga. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are when you're viewing this. Welcome, and as always we are going to start sitting on a bolster or a cushion and do a little meditation just to ground and center ourselves before we get into today's flow. So join me, close down the eyes, sitting up nice and tall, grounding down into the sit bones, taking a deep inhalation right down into the belly and letting it go. Feeling that release, feeling that letting go. Breathing in, right up the front body to the top of the head, letting it go, just wash down the back body. Just going to do that circular breathing, breathing in and up, right to the crown. Maybe pause here for a moment and let it go. Let's pause at the bottom for a moment. And then breathing in, pause at the top, let it go, pause at the bottom, drawing in and up the front, pausing at the top, letting it go, pausing at the bottom, breathing in to the top, pausing. This time when we go down, we're just going to scan the body. Head, the neck, the shoulders, as we let go of that breath, the arms, the hips, the belly, the spine, the legs, the feet. Just notice if we're holding any tension. Pause at the bottom, drawing in and up to the top, the crown of the head. Pause, once again scanning as you come down the body, noticing any twinges, any uncomfortableness, any tension. Pausing at the bottom, drawing up the front body, breathing in deeply right to the top. Last time, we're going to let that breath go. Pausing at the bottom. Feeling the centeredness, the stillness you've created already. Just with this little breath, motion. Opening the eyes really gently, just keeping the focus soft as we move into our practice today. We keep your bolster or a cushion handy because you may need it later on in the practice. So we'll take it out to begin with. We're going to extend one foot out away from the body. It can be your right. I've chosen my right. Sitting up nice and tall, really grounding down through those sit bones. I'm going to take the hands up overhead, and then we're going to hinge from the hips, just gently coming forward. We're just warming up. Breathing in, breathing out. Seeing if you can get down a little bit more into that pose. Coming back up, walking the hands back up the leg. I'm going to take the left hand up overhead this time, and we're going to walk the right hand down the leg. And just a little bit of a side twist, stretch. Remember all the time to be focusing on the breath. Coming back up to a neutral position. We're going to bring that leg in, join the other. Just having the feet out a little way from the body, sitting up nice and tall. Pressing those legs down towards the mat. Just gripping onto the wrist, onto the ankles. Once again, drawing that breath down into the belly and letting it go. Going to extend the right leg, draw the left leg in towards the inner thigh. Scooping that prana up overhead, palms together and, swap over. I'm going the wrong way. Down towards the right leg. Whoopsie. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm going to walk the hands back up. So we come sitting back up. We're going to now, this time, lift the right hand up overhead and just let that left hand go down that left leg, coming over into a stretch. Remembering that breath. And coming up, hand back down to the mat. We're going to draw that foot in. This time we're going to bring the feet really close to the body if you can. And just go into that stretch, getting into those inner thighs, those abductors, sitting up nice and tall. Breathing into the belly, keeping those shoulders down and letting it go. Another breath in and letting it go. We're going to bring those knees up. We're going to just reach behind us. We're just going to let those knees drop over one side to the other. Warming up the hips a little bit. Opening up through the chest. Coming to a neutral position, we're going to come over onto our hands and knees into our tabletop position. We're going to move into some cat-cow. So we're going to start with the cat. We're going to arch through the back, drop the head, chin to chest, pushing out through those shoulders, through those shoulder blades. And then we're going to draw the belly down as we draw a line with the nose up towards the ceiling, dropping the head back. Do two more of these, moving back the other way, arching through the back, pushing out through those shoulder blades. Exhaling as we come down, drawing a line with the nose. Coming back to a neutral position, we're going to put the big toes together, bring the knees wide and drop the hips back into a child's pose. Head to mat. Breathing into the belly. One more breath before we draw ourselves back up into our tabletop. We're going to arch that back again, down to our cow neck. Looking up towards the ceiling, coming back the other way as we push through the spine, up to the ceiling, and now we're going to put those big toes together and draw our body back into our child's pose. Taking a breath here before we come forward back onto our tabletop with our shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Oh my, I'm really tripping over my words today. I'm so sorry. And we're going to drop down and up into our cat pose and toes together, drawing back. So we're in a little bit of a flow here. One breath before we come to our tabletop. Put those knees back in line with the edges of your mat. Drop the belly, looking up. Coming back the other way, tucking the chin to the chest, pushing up through the spine, bringing the toes together, knees are wide and dropping back. Coming back up to tabletop, dropping the belly up and coming back to a neutral position. This time we're going to bring the left leg to the front, through the hands into a low lunge. Going to take the hands behind us, Shoot them up overhead, looking up towards the hands, getting into those front of that psoas muscle, down the right leg. Raining those fingers down to the mat. We're going to plant the right hand. We're going to lift the left and move into a twist, looking up towards the hand. Bringing that hand back down beside the foot. We're going to lift that hand, drop it over the leg and walk that foot out to the edge of the mat. So we're here. And take that left hand, bring it to the outside, walk that foot back in. We're going to come back, straightening that front leg, walk the hands back. Take a breath. We're going to walk the hands forward as we bend that front foot. We're going to draw the foot across the front of our body and come into our pigeon pose. Now this is where you might need your cushion or your bolster to just plant underneath your butt. Just can help a little bit. And then you can walk your hands forward, coming down onto the floor. If this is too much for you, just stay in this position. We're going to walk the hands back towards the body, coming up nice and high. We're going to scoop that front leg back behind you, big toes together. We're going to come back into that child's pose. Just going to take a couple of breaths here. Got in pretty deep then. Bringing yourself back up to your tabletop position. We're going to take your other leg now, bring your right leg to the front, coming into your low lunge. Hands behind and up overhead, looking up towards the hands. It's in your practice. Raining those hands down, left hand to the mat, right hand opening wide. Lovely stretch. Exhaling as we come down. We're going to straighten that front leg. Sitting up nice and tall, walking those hands back towards the body. And we're going to walk the hands forward, bending that knee. We're going to take the right hand on the inside of the foot and walk the foot out to the edge of the mat, coming down nice and deep. Taking a breath. I'm going to take that hand, put it to the outside of the foot as we move it in towards the body, and then we're going to take it right across the body again. And coming down into our pigeon pose. Can you move that bolster or that cushion back underneath that glute if that feels better for you? Certainly does for me. Just gives it a little bit of support. It's a pretty intense pose, this one. And then if it's in your practice today, you can start to walk your hands down onto your forearms or right down onto the mat. Push the body up, the hands, walk the hands back towards the body, opening up through the chest. We're going to bring that front foot across the body and out and behind us. Push that bolster out the way, big toes together, and coming back into our child's pose. Taking a deep breath. Come back up into our tabletop position, our knees in line with our hips, feet extended away behind us. We're going to tuck the toes. We're going to come up into our first downward dog. We'll hover our knees over the mat to start, just getting into that core, and then pushing your way back up and behind for your down dog. Walking out the feet, looking back through the legs. Taking a couple of breaths here. We're going to raise the right leg behind us, and we're going to draw it in close to the chest, shifting the weight forward into a plank position. We're going to push it back and away, drawing it in towards the chest and coming forward, pushing it away, coming back towards the chest. Last time, pushing it away. This time we're going to bring it all the way through the hands into our crescent pose. So we've got the back foot is on a 45-degree angle, heel off the mat, hands behind as we rooterize. Little bit of a back bend. Open through the chest, reining the hands back to the mat. We're going to push that front foot to the back into our down dog. Up onto the toes, coming over into our plank position. And we're going to lift, like we're going over a beach ball, lifting the hips and coming back into our down dog. May be able to get your heels down to the mat. Now you've stretched out a little bit. If not, that's perfectly fine. Lifting up on the toes, over that beach ball, back to our plank position. Taking a breath, pushing up and back over into our down dog. We're going to lift the left leg. We're going to push it behind us, nice and high, before we draw it in towards the chest, shifting forward into the plank position, pushing away, drawing it back, knee to chest, coming into that plank again, pushing it away. Last time, one more time, drawing it in towards the chest, pushing it away. This time we're coming all the way through the hands to the front of the mat. Just moving that back leg onto a 45-degree angle. Once again, the heel is off the floor. We're rooting down through those feet. Hands behind, root to rise, hands overhead. Taking a breath, we're moving that prana through the body, reining the hands back down to the mat, and we're going to take that front foot to the back into our down dog. And we're going to walk the feet to the hands. Hanging out here in a forward fold. Maybe grab the elbows, just let the top front body just hug towards the knees. Bounce the elbows, maybe swing a little bit. Keep those knees soft. You're going to drop the hands to the floor, then come up onto the fingertips, or you may want to put your hands to your shins, coming back to the floor, and then we're going to root to rise, hands overhead, palms together, drawing them down to the heart center. Feeling that prana moving through the body. Increase the heart rate a little bit. Really got that energy flowing. We're going to bend the knees a little bit, arms up overhead, palms together, drawing them down as we come down into our forward fold. Half lift, forward fold. We're going to step back with the right foot, step back with the left foot, come into a plank pose. We're going to keep those elbows close to the body. If this is too much, come down to your low plank. We're going to keep those elbows in tight and we're going to move down to the mat. We're going to bring the hands wide today and we're going to peel that chest off the mat. Feet are planted on the ground into our baby cobra. Exhaling as we come down, taking a breath before we roll ourselves back off the mat. Bring the hands close to the body, tuck the toes, push away from the mat into our down dog. We're going to come up onto the toes, come into our plank position. Then going to push back, up and over, back into our down dog. We're going to take our left foot behind us this time into our three-legged dog. We're going to bring it straight through the hands this time. We're going to plant that back foot. We're going to take the hands behind and come up into our warrior one. Strong through the legs. We're going to drop that right hand behind us, shift the body to the front so we're in our warrior two, looking out over the hands, over the fingers. We're going to windmill the hands back to the front, come round, drop that back foot around to be facing the front, the long edge of the mat, the short edge of the mat. We're going to take that left foot and put it behind us, back into our down dog. We're going to roll up and over into our plank position. We're going to drop the knees, feet planted flat. Keep those elbows in tight as we bring ourselves down and peel our chest up into our cobra pose. Coming back down to the mat, we'll do one more of these. Take a breath. Exhaling as you come up. A little bit higher. Coming down to the mat, tucking the toes, pushing away from the body, back into our down dog. Walking our feet to the hands, half lift, forward fold, rolling the spine up, hands overhead, palms together, drawing them into the heart space. Bending the knees a little before we bring our hands overhead, palms together, forward fold, hinging from the hips, coming up to our half lift, forward fold. We're going to step back with the left foot, the right foot, coming into our down dog. We're going to take the right foot up behind, three-legged dog. We're going to bring it in between the hands, planting that back foot on a 45-degree angle, taking the hands behind, root to rise, warrior one. We're going to twist the body. I'm going to come the other way so that I'm not got my back to you. We're going to drop that back hand, bring the hips to the front. So we're looking out over that front hand in our warrior two. Windmill the hands back down to the mat. We're going to take that front leg to the back into our plank pose. We're going to keep the elbows in tight, drawing the body down, chaturanga to the mat, peeling ourselves forward into our cobra pose, coming up even higher this time if it's in your practice, dropping down to the mat one more time, peeling the chest off the mat. Exhaling as we come down, tucking the toes, pushing away from the body, up into our down dog. We're going to walk the feet to the hands, come up to our half lift, forward fold, root to rise, hinging from the hips, coming up, hands overhead, palms together, and drawing them down to the heart center. Taking a breath here. We're going to go into our eagle pose, which we did a few classes ago. So just going to rock from side to side, get that balance in our feet. Then we're going to come, so we're putting our weight on our left foot. So just take that right leg off the ground. You're going to cross it over. And you might just come to here, that's fine. You might be able to go deeper and just wrap that foot around the left leg. And take the arms out wide. Now this might be all that's in your practice today, and just sit down into it. Or you might want to take your left arm around your right arm. Actually, we'll do it the other way. Sorry, your right arm around your left arm, same as the legs. So your right leg is wrapped around your left leg, your right arm is wrapped around your left. So let's do that again. Crossing over, wrapping around. You might go to there, you might be able to go right in here. And then sitting. So it's a balancing pose. Keeping your eyes, your gaze soft. Find a drishti, a little point somewhere to focus on. And coming out, extending the arms, unwrapping the legs, and bringing them back down to the mat. Taking a breath, hands by your side. Before we move into the other side. So let's just move that weight from one foot to the other. And we're going to take our weight onto our right leg this time. We're going to lift the left leg. We're going to wrap it around the right leg. Once again, you might go to there. You might be able to wrap it right the way around. Bringing the arms out wide. We're going to wrap the left arm around the right arm. So it's the other way. I'm finding this side way different than the other side. Are you? Pushing the arms up and away from the body and sitting down. Our eagle pose, finding that drishti. Really helps the balance. If you fall out of it, have a laugh, come back into it. Have another go. And then we're going to root to rise, we're going to unwrap the arms, unwrap the legs, down to the mat. Let's walk the feet out. Walk the feet out. Make some circles with your hands into the shoulders. Okay, we're going to once again, we're going to root that weight into the left leg. We're going to take the right leg up behind us. Bring that foot into the butt. Take the right hand and grab your foot. Bring the left hand in front and draw the right hand behind you. Finding that drishti, that point of balance, pushing that foot up and away into your hand. Drawing yourself up, bringing that hand back up overhead. Really tucking that foot into your butt so you're getting a beautiful nice stretch down the right quad. And then we're just going to let go of the foot and draw it back down to the body. Walk those feet out again. Before we come to the other side. So root that weight into the left leg this time before we draw the right leg up behind us into the hand and drawing it away from the body, drawing the hand out in front as we come down, pushing away with that foot into the hand as we come down, finding that drishti, that point on the floor. And drawing yourself back. Woo! If you lose your balance, just find it again. Drawing that left foot right close into the butt for a beautiful stretch down the left side. Remembering to breathe all the time. We're just going to take lose that foot, come back down and walk the feet out. We're going to bring ourselves down to the floor. And we're going to roll ourselves down onto the back. Knees are bent, hands out from the body. We're going to lift the left knee and drop it, tap it on the mat. We're going to lift the right knee, tap it on the back mat. Make sure that your back is really connected to the ground. So we're lifting and then just tapping and just swapping legs, lifting and tapping. Lifting, tapping. Really getting into those lower abs. This time I'm going to take the left hand, elbow and draw it up to the right knee and coming down. Opposite sides. Doing crunches, but really slowly. Crossing over the midline, pushing that back, that spine into the mat as we come across the body. Drawing that foot back down. Now we're going to plant the feet. We're just going to use the top part of our body, so shoulder coming across the top of the body. So we're just getting in, isolating those upper abs down and up and across. One more on each side. And coming to rest, bringing the hands beside the body, walking the feet away from the body. Just letting those feet flop out from the body, closing down the eyes. We're going to move into our Shavasana, our final pose. Making sure that that back is really connected into the mat. Shoulders away from the ears. We're just integrating all that movement that we've just done. Closing the eyes. Breathing into the belly. Drawing that breath in and up the front body, up to the crown like we did at the beginning. Exhaling down along the spine, the back body. Drawing our breath in. Up the front body to the crown. Pausing and letting it go. Just scanning the body from the top of the head. Noticing if there's any changes in the body, if any points of pain or uncomfortableness are still there or whether they've shifted. Without judgment, just observing the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the chest, the spine, the abdomen, the pelvis, the thighs, the legs, the toes. Have the luxury to stay here, then please do. Otherwise start to wiggle into the fingers, wiggle into the toes. We rock the hips from side to side, start to bring the knees up towards the body and rolling onto a side of your choice. Tucking the hands under the face. Taking a deep breath. Pushing our way up from the mat, crossing the legs, coming to a seated position. Hope you're feeling energized, connected to your body. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Sarah from Synchronized Health and Wellness, wishing you the best day ever, or best evening, wherever you are in the world. And you could be watching this. I hope you'll join me again. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you like my classes, and I will continue to share with you. Namaste.